All of you have cue cards on your chairs. If you have a question, fill it out and then hand it to Michael Dees as he walks around. He's going to hand them to me because there's so many here today. This is, do we blow your socks off? I mean, how many agents are in here today? Is there a count? Over close to 300? Excellent. Let's get this going, right, Donna Z? Let me do my first question to a newcomer to Orange County, Mr. Joe Oz. There's always ladies first. However, he's a very interesting character, has a unique flavor about him. Joe, you're from New Jersey, right?
Correct.
Excellent. When did you feel completely confident, okay, about your career path that you chosen in real estate?
Okay, awesome. That's a great question. When did I feel completely confident? When I started selling some houses, I guess. I think a really great friend of mine was in real estate. He was, we were college buddies, and he was doing really great at it. He was starting a real estate team. He was buying another real estate company. He was buying a Remax, and so and I just joined up with him, joined his team, and you know what? It was really organic. It just started clicking. I'm a huge fan of coaching. I'm very coachable. I love, if something works, I just want to do it. And so I just really, I'm the kind of guy that was always like, just tell me what to do, and I try to shut the part of my brain off that gets really creative and all those things. Like just what works and let's just do it. But it was really it's not really an exciting answer, but it happened really quickly, really organically.
Chasey, so this is for you. You've had a really fantastic career. However, I do know that I'm sure sometimes you failed, right? What kept you in the game?
Well, I know that most successful people usually fail before they get ahead. I hate to say I haven't failed much yet. Except, I take that back. 2017, I think, was one of our most challenging years in failure as far as not meeting our goal, but at least we didn't go backwards. It was a year of lessons, a year of distractions. But I would say that would have been due to staffing and...
What was your goal for 2017?
We wanted to hit 300 units. We can shout it or try it up, like right 100.
Wow. Closed sales volume, how much is that?
We did 116 million.
Wow, that's fantastic. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Chelsea. Elizabeth has had a creative career. Just give us a quick 1-minute pitch of where you started and where you are today, Elizabeth.
1 minute? No. 2005 is when I started, individual agent, probably somewhere around 15, 18 units. And then fast forward to today, I've joined Keller Williams 2013, picked up the MREA, read it 9 times, copied everything that was in the book, and now we have a team of 20. 2017, we produced 220 units at 107 million. Thanks to the team.
Who hasn't read the MREA book? For you, my dear. There you go. Thank you, Rena.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Brilliant. Devin is a very independent-driven man. So, Devin, give us those moments where could you get out of bed in the morning or you couldn't because of your success and failure in real estate. Give us the both options.
Well, the good news is I have an amazing wife, and she has a nice kick. So the good, they say behind every successful man is an amazing woman, and my wife is absolutely amazing. Been together 30 years and married 25 years, and very blessed to have her, Judy. And when you talk about not getting out of bed, I just kind of feel like this. So, but seriously, I would say that more than anything for me, when you're driven by something bigger than yourself, when you have a passion that's so great that you know that you're not going to accomplish it in this timeline, in this world, what it does, it allows you to be driven beyond that. So my passion is to build generational wealth through real estate. I do that by showing up every single day in my clients' lives and my team's lives and helping them generate that opportunity to look at what it looks like for them to have the biggest possible world that they can have. And so I've been very blessed to have that perspective. And So through success and failure, I feel like that's really the key in all of it, is having a clear mission and vision for your life.
So we all love to know what your daily routines are like. Because this is the Super Bowl, and we all said right here, this is $1 billion. I want to touch what $1 billion feels like. Feels good. Feels wonderful. May I get a hug, Chessie? Excellent. What is your daily routine like? I'm talking when you get up in the morning, the mindset, the action that you take that solves all of your problems. Elizabeth.
So, gotta get up early. This morning, even 4:45. So that means you gotta sleep early though too. I get my 8 hours. And just the mindset is just getting up and being positive. I know everyone talks about that, but really identifying, your purpose and rethinking all the good that's going to happen that day, not take from what yesterday and bring it over to today, but being finished and done with the busy work before 11. That's really crucial. And I tell my team that all the time, is that you don't carry something from the day before over to the next day, and then you always feel behind. So if you get up really early in the morning, what's going to happen is that you're going to finish all those busy tasks, and then you're ready for new tasks.
Mr. Joe, you're a very charismatic, vibrant person. In the morning, when you're looking in the mirror,
Right.
what are you thinking? Because I'm looking at an amazing human being. What are you thinking, Joe?
Well, that's a really good question, Kevin. Well, heat and tension creates volume. Okay, that's what my barber taught me. My daily routine. So when I came to Keller Williams, the team leader that recruited me, like the first session sitting across the desk from her, she said to me, the first question was, "What does your time blocking look like?" And I said, what do you mean? And then she turned her computer to me and showed me her Google Calendar with different colors, where I guess these were different activities that she did. I said, "Oh, I don't do that. That's crazy." And she looked at me and she said, "Okay." I was like her personal project. She said she's like, "You don't even know how to sell real estate yet, but you're doing blank. You're doing this much volume." And then so once I immediately committed to the 135 and the 411 and these tools that Keller Williams gives us. And so for me, it's really, what do they say? If you're not preparing to fail, what's the saying? If you're not prepared, whatever. So, yeah, you guys know it, right? So we've all seen enough inspirational videos to hear this. Yeah. So I was taught on Sunday night to plan out your week, and I saw a video you posted recently, which was pretty similar. You showed hey, this is my calendar. It's all planned out for the week, which is exactly the way that I operate. And so if I know on Sunday night that I need to go to yoga twice, and I need to do this and all these things, and kind of like what you were saying is eat the frog, right? We do the hard work in the morning, we do the prospecting. But I have a team on the East Coast, we do stand-up calls I was on a call at 6 a.m. this morning, so I was talking to those guys, making sure they were ready, and then things like that. But just the 135 to the 411, and then taking that 411, getting it down to your week, and then sitting down and implementing every single thing that needs to be done into your calendar has just been a total game changer for me.
Do you know what a 411 is and a 135? Can you give us a quick brief breakdown?
Yeah, sure. So the 135, I'm not a match coach, by the way. but again, I am coachable. I'm very, very learning based. But the 135 is pretty much your roadmap, right? So if we're going to drive from here to New York, how are we going to get there? We need a GPS. Okay, so it's one goal. It's three. How many guys? It's one goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies, right? I go over this all the time. But and then so what happens is you basically chunk everything down, and that's huge. That's been huge for me. So it's like anything. It's like losing weight. It's like anything. Just chunking it down to this is the one thing that we need to do over and over and over, time on task over time. So then from the 135, that's for your year, right? That's for your year, and then you bring that to your 411, which is 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, and you say for a year. So when you set your goals for the year, that's when most people stop, right? I did that. I worked at Remax for 8 years. I would sit down with the owner of my company, my team leader, and we'd set our goals and we'd put it away and we didn't look at it again for another year. And then you pull it out and you're like, "Oh, cool, I did that one," and you're not really purposeful about it, or I didn't do that one, and you don't care because you didn't really pay attention to it. And then from the year, you break it down to your month. So I need to do this every single month, 12 times to make this happen for the year. And then you break it down to that week. And then the first week, if that month I need to go on, 10 listing appointments, I break it down to, whatever that works out to per week. And in the first week, if I don't go on what I need to go on, it carries over to the next week. And then we can look at things and change things when they need to be changed, right? So we have to pivot when things aren't working and change what we're doing. It's kind of a long answer, but I hope that helps.
Thank you, Joe. And with your 4-in-1, you can have a bad day, but have a good week, right, Chanel? Or you can have a bad week, but you have a good month. You can have a bad month, but you can have a great year. So keep focused and look forward. Chelsea, give us a rundown of your daily routine and how you run your team and your expectations and your standards, the principles that make you successful.
So it's really important that you calendar in your personal achievements, every day. So every morning, the first thing I do is work out. It's just something that I have to do every day, 7 days a week. And then we do have our accountability calls with our team in the morning at 7:50, right, Margaret? And all of us are on the call, and everybody talks about what they achieved the previous day and what their goals are for that day. And then from there, time blocking for prospecting. Of course, I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said 100%, but 80. And then, of course, I go to appointments all day, and then time block a little bit more for additional follow-up and lead generation at the end of the day as well.
Does anyone have a question for Chelsea while we share the microphone? One question. Going once. Going twice. Anthony, anything? You have a question for Chelsea?
Yeah, question. Hi, everybody. Anthony Medlon. Question is, obviously you've been in the business for a while, so there's certain milestones you had to go through to break through a ceiling of achievement. What was one thing that you've done that helped you, let's say, double your business from, let's say, 50 million to 100?
Got a coach. You need a coach to hold you accountable.
Did you guys hear the question? How did she double her business? So she wasn't chasing a balloon. She really went from let's say 100 to 200. Thank you.
The one thing.
The one thing. Thank you, Lisa. Excellent.
Let's hear from the mighty Devon.
Hi. So I'd say the one thing that we do is focus very clearly, because when you have that big vision like I talked about, what you can do is you can chunk it down into what does it look like through the tools that we talked about. But specifically, our team members are very, very clear on what their focus is. And we have two kinds of focuses. We have recruiting focus and we have listing focus. So on the listing focus, basically what it comes down to is that everyone has a goal of booking at least one appointment per day. And what that looks like is setting an intention. We don't call lead generation, we call it appointment setting. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, what happens inside that block that you choose is whatever you choose, right? Because you put that intention in your mind. And if you call it lead generation, you might get through your 20 contacts, and that might not be effective because you didn't set that appointment. So we go out there and we intend to set an appointment a day, and we do that through appointment setting, not lead generation. And then from there, what happens is that's true on the recruiting side as well as the listing side. So our team is configured in that we have some people called growth leaders, and growth leaders are solely focused on recruiting. And that means that we bring in, just like an assistant team leader does at a market center, we bring in 5 gross recruits per month. So in order to do that, we choose to take 20 appointments to get the 5 gross. And that's a 4-to-1 conversion ratio. On the listing side, we go for a 2-to-1 conversion ratio. We're at 49.8% of that over the 1,400 homes that we sold last year. So what that translates into is that we actually are very good at that 2-to-1 ratio. That's because we intend it, we focus it, and everybody's speaking that same language.
Chanel, please come here. Chanel is a productivity coach in San Clemente. Donna Z from Chicago is a team leader. Chanel, as the PC in-house, we can all lead generate all day long, right? But if we don't have a goal, like Devin was saying, at least one appointment, there's no use in lead generating. So what is your goal to drive your agents to achieve at least that one goal each day in lead generating?
Well, in our program, we teach to time block. So if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And we all attempt to time block a minimum of 2 hours, preferably 3. And if you haven't set the goal, then you really don't have anything else to do. So you get back on the phone, or you hit the doors, or you follow up. So the point is just to make the appointment.
So one appointment, is that what you're...
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chelsea, what's the one thing, the aha moment that moved you, besides your coach, something happened, there was a crack in your universe that took you from doing kind of the good work to great work, to become that super success that you are today?
Everybody talks about having a database and following up with your database, staying in touch with your database, and that was my aha moment because that's where most of our business comes from. So it's all mainly repeat business referrals, and we hammer that database.
I want to follow with Elizabeth. That you guys are on the same page.
Yeah, we definitely are on the same page because that was my big aha was maybe 3 family reunions ago when they said you need to build a database because it's going to work for you. And once we did that, then now the team can work in the database. But then the second thing is that I'm replaceable. That was my big aha when I realized that my team can go on appointments without me and the client's not requesting me personally. And that knowing that I'm replaceable was a great aha, actually.
Elizabeth, how many people are in your database, and how much of that is a return on your investment? How much of a percentage of business are you getting from your database?
So we have in the database we have 7,400 contacts. Past clients were somewhere around 9, almost 1,000. So ROI on Sphere is approximately 29% in 2017.
Big time. 1/3 of business. Wow.
And by the way, we'd like to push that up this year to 50%.
Excellent. And go ahead. And 50% actually that's the standard, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, so 50%, by the way, from your sphere is the standard. Now, Elizabeth as a team, I'm talking about individual agent. Your sphere should be your biggest advocate. They're your ambassadors to get your business, right, Jessica?
Right. That's right.
Talk about database. That's so important.
So we're a team that's aligned through multiple cities, multiple states, and our number one and sole focus is teaching people how page 137 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent works. If you write that down, page 137 of the MREA, in the middle of the circle is allied resources, and just outside of that is your sphere of influence. And as a MAPS Mastery Coach, this is one of my most important conversations to have with people. The conversion rate, according to Gary Keller, in those first 2 circles is 8 contacts to 1 appointment. Inside those first 2 circles is your most effective conversation. So what they're doing is exactly right. And outside of that is your targeted haven't mets and your haven't mets. What we find is that so many people say, well, I'm going to do big business, and they're focused on the 80 to 1 outside of that. Targeted haven't mets and haven't mets are outside of that circle. So when you do focus on, what Reno says, what you focus on expands, right? You focus on the sphere of influence, you focus on past clients, that's where your opportunities are going to be. You also focus on, like what Steve was talking about flipping, is that you focus on the opportunities where you get one-to-many relationships. Those are your allied resources. So what can I do such that making everything easier and necessary? Find more one-to-many relationships. That's what we teach our agents to do. And that focus is that I literally generate thousands and thousands of leads every month, and I don't pay a dime for lead generation because we're doing it through the agents growing their networks. And that's effectively what the tools work. So that's how we do it.
Joe, you're new to Orange County. You have no database here. Tell us your process of coming here and starting brand new.
Okay, cool. I would like to add something on the database. Is that cool? So we, a lot of our success came from our database in New Jersey. So I just moved out here, just so everyone knows, from New Jersey. We have a mega agent office at the Jersey Shore, and so page 137, we had read it, and then basically our team, we created our own 33 touch kind of, So I came from like an artist kind of like background and very creative and things like that. And so we relied heavily on branding, and then what we did was the 33 touch is pretty much how can we contact people, right? We can email them, we can call them, and things like that. So what we did was we branded ourselves, we have like a mascot, we have all this crazy stuff. But what we did was we made sure to touch everyone once a month with really specific stuff. Like the things you get in the mail, we have an artist, like we have like a graphic designer layout every single month. The emails that you're getting, we're using BombBomb, and someone from the team's talking to you about something that's important every single month and getting everything out there. And we're calling everyone every single month. And it's just different, right? It's not like a pecan pie recipe. It's not the New York Giants football schedule. Because these days people want the real. And they can tell if you're marketing to them or selling them or you're trying to get into a relationship with them. So when it comes to your database, you have to be in a relationship with them. So that was a huge aha for us. And that was huge growth, was the people that we knew, and we get involved with the community. And we would do 6 to 8 client events, well we still do, a year. And this means we would go out to like huge businesses and go out and do like home buyer seminars and things like that. But to answer your question, here in Orange County, it's a little bit different. So you can call it expansion, but this isn't really the way that they teach us how to do expansion. Like it's not an ESO and things like that. Like we're not doing it the conventional way. My wife, I have a 2-year-old, we had our first child, and so my wife is from Dana Point, we wanted to move back here. And I did have, it's funny, I had this conversation with my coach, I got here, I'm like, all right, what do I do now? And you know what, man, it's really fun. I really love real estate and I really love people. So sitting open houses, this is not going to sound sexy, you guys, but sitting open houses, I found a farm. My friend Jeff helped me find a farm. We got a farm. I did not know anything about it. I learned about it. I went and knocked the doors. You become the market expert. So I don't care where you are. Like I want to be able to go and sell houses wherever I like to visit. And that sounds really exciting and really fun to me. And that's what we're doing. So, and I want to get really great at it so I can teach other people how to do it. But you become the economist of the market. And it's simple, but it's not easy, right? That's what they say. So I'm out there doing it, you join the yacht club. I don't have a boat. I join the yacht club. I don't care. So I will have a boat, but I just go there, and it's fun. I enjoy people, and getting into relationship with people is one of my favorite things in the world to do. So I don't mind doing the activities, and I think that's a lot of things that realtors don't like to do. Like, you guys have a really high price point out here. I've done the numbers. You sell 12 houses, you're doing all right. You sell 50 houses, then you're going to have that boat, and you can definitely sit at the yacht club and feel comfortable. But yeah, it's not sexy. It's just the basics. I get on the phones, and a circle prospect, I do open houses, I join the yacht club, and that's it.
So the $1 billion panel can agree that you can be brand new to any market or any area, any city, and you can start fresh and you can succeed. How long have you been here for, Joe?
So we got here in August.
Wow. So August, I need to do the math because I'm September, October, November, 5 months. And how many deals do you have right now, Joe?
So I've only done a handful. We got here, it was really like a spur, so the goal was, if I could share that, so I was out here, I've been with KW for about 3 years. I was out here we came out here for a wedding. We're out here a lot, my wife's from here, and I was like, that's it, we're gonna move. And I went to I was with Remax, I was at Remax, I went to Berkshire Hathaway, I went to every company to interview. I set up appointments, I was very excited, but as we all know, they're not really interviews. You can go sit wherever you want. And then I went to a Carl Williams office and I met someone who shut their door, asked me about my business, kind of cared about me. And it was really, really awesome. And they kind of said, hey, I'm going to leave my business behind in New Jersey. I was doing 8 to 10 million. And they're like, you don't have to do that actually. If you come to this company, and that's when they launched Expansion Light with Kristen, and they said, we're going to send you back to New Jersey. You should go to this thing, and if it makes sense, we should talk more. And that's what I did. And it took 3 years. Yeah, it took about 2.5 years. Not even. But I did everything they said to do. I got into MAPS coaching. I did all the group coaching sessions, the perfect real estate assistant, all these things. I kind of just surrendered and just did what I was told. And I did every single thing. And the goal was to just create a business that I can remove myself in. It's all in the MRA book, go to 7th level, and then keep that business there and run it like a true business person. And then I can just go live wherever I want to live, where my family's going to be happy.
Can you hear the repetition in Elizabeth and in Joe? Chessie has her right-hand lady working, managing her business for her. Devin has a huge empire. They're okay with replacing themselves. Right, Deb? So they can build a business, and they're okay just stepping out and letting it organically grow itself. Who's going to complain about that? Absolutely. I love this.
So that was one thing. A lot of the agents that I meet with and that I talk with, the most important, so the aha moment, right? The aha moment was when you figure out leverage. For me, I knew right away, when I was working at my former company, I knew that if I was entering in a listing, or if I was sitting at a home inspection, or if I was going to meet the appraiser, I knew that I wasn't getting more business. I recognized really early on the $15 an hour job and the $300 an hour job. And I just had to get myself out of the $15 an hour job as fast as possible. And that's what so many agents are so afraid to do. Get out of your own head, whether it's ego or whatever it is. You don't know, someone can do that paperwork as good as you can. Probably better, actually. And So whatever you're really good at, just go out and do that. For me, it's just going out there and talking to people and meeting people and getting into a relationship. And so that's what we just did. But that's what a lot of agents don't do, is they don't get out of their own way. And I just cannot wait to give it away.
Does you have any questions? Do you want to fill out on your cue sheet? Fill it out and bring it back to me, please, as soon as possible. Dan Pope, please come here, sir. This is Dan. He's the CEO and team leader of Irvine, which is a remarkable brand. Dan, you know who these players are, personally?
Yes.
Of course he does. Because he's an A player himself. Dan, how did Joe and you guys connect? How did the synergy happen?
It's kind of a funny story. Joe made an appointment with me. He was coming from New Jersey. He wanted to expand. He was looking at other market centers. He's like, I don't want to be in Irvine, right? He's like, I know that for sure. Can I tell that story? Yeah, okay. He's like, I kept the appointment just because I kept the appointment, and I don't really want to be here. And he showed up with a partner, and we had a really good conversation. I think we just hit it off from the start. I loved his personality. He was funny. He came in trying to be all business-like, but I know. I saw it. And I think we just hit it off, and I saw his dreams. I saw what he really wanted to be. I saw where he really wanted to go, and then I saw all the ways that I could help him get there. And we've had such a great relationship ever since. I mean, when we go out to lunch, we talk about, what's going on, with the family, what's going on, the guy uprooted himself and moved from New Jersey to here and started all over again. And has, a $45 million business. So it was pretty amazing. I'm super grateful to be in business with him.
Thank you, Dan.
If Joe can do it, we can do it. Elizabeth, you've run business before you got into real estate. Is it the same? Is it the same mindset, the same action involved?
In business, everything's the same. So, you read all these business books, they're not only talking to real estate agents, they're talking to, business-minded people or salespeople, so it's all mindset. I mean, we're 100% commission. So, there's no motivation to get up for some of us in the morning, so we really have to find a way to push ourselves. So, I'm very lucky that, like Joe, I'm very coachable. My father was always a businessman, so that was where, unfortunately, when I was younger, I didn't think it was a good thing because he was always telling me to get up. But now it makes all the sense in the world, and him and I can sit for hours now and talk about business, building companies, making employees happy, synergy. He runs a big manufacturer in Vietnam, so he had to move back, to his country that he fled from. So for him to understand a whole nother dynamic there too. So we chat about all that good stuff and all the things that's going on in the world, right?
Elizabeth, I know that you're coachable. That's obvious. You don't stop there though. You have your own mentorship team, right? Could you tell us some more about that, please? And maybe how the agents in the audience can either create your own or join one.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that, be it if it's a women's group or golf group, whatever, what your interests are, as far as being around people that are better than you. You guys hear about that all the time, but that's very true because you're going to learn all these wonderful things and advice that they're going to give to you. There's not one session that I have with my mastermind group where, they're like, hold on a second, Liz. Can we help you with that? And I said, oh yeah, I got my notes out, I'm ready to go. So, I always have a takeaway. And that's one thing that we have to be coachable if we want to succeed and grow.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And what I took away from that, and what I would say is really important inside of that, is that it really is important who you choose to surround yourself with, and you have a choice. And we all just came through the holidays. It looks like you all made it, and some of you had some very exciting conversations with family, as we all do. And what I can tell you is that you get to choose who you put yourself around every single day. And in a mastermind group or an accountability group, it has to be the 5 most important people around you. In Quantum Leap, we teach how it is that you make these wealth determinations for yourself. And wealth is not about money. Wealth is about abundance. And when you look at abundance and you see what abundance looks like for your life, if you don't see a reflection of that in the 5 key relationships you have in your world, it's probably time to level those relationships up. And so one of the things that I would just challenge you is that as I look at the relationships that are around me, I continue to raise the lid on what those relationships look like. And Diana is excellent at this. As you know, Diana gets time with John Maxwell, which is almost impossible to do because she is such a servant leader and she's able to go out there and create these kinds of relationships. So who in 2018 do you choose to be, and how do you align that with the opportunity to get around other people that are thinking that way?
And talking about John Maxwell, which are mentors, right? Great.
Just to piggyback off of that, one of the conversations we have with our coach often is, like Devin and everyone said, is surround yourself with people that you want to be in business with or that you want to learn from. And this is something that she said actually comes from Lori Reeder, who's another top agent in our organization. She said once, stallions don't run with donkeys.
Yeah.
I don't want riding a donkey, but I want to be a donkey. I want to be a petticoat.
Chelsea, all these amazing names, these people, who do you consider your mentor? I mean, they can be alive, they can be past. Who do you consider a mentor that you really look up to? Because you're a pretty phenomenal human being with amazing traits and discipline. But who do you consider as that key person that drives you or you'd like to be like them, besides Chelsea Begano?
There's a lot of famous, well-known people that, of course, that I would look up to. There's a lot of agents in our organization that I would look up to. But, and not to sound like we're in a cult, but it's, of course, Gary Keller. He's failed so many times and just plowed through. He had a dream to be where we are today many years ago, and he has achieved that, and he has not let anyone stop him.
So like Devin said, you know, I'm a firm believer in it's the 5 people, right? So the 5, like I did, you know, it was a part of my life where I did like my life audit, where it was like just done, you know.
Yeah.
People do that in like, Facebook audit. I did that in life. I was like, hey, you know what? You guys are not, you don't want to do with your life what I want to do with my life, so I'm going to move on. And I found those people. And as far as mentors go, it's my 5 people. And I got to say, Dan was just standing here, like Dan Puritan, like a huge, like I wouldn't be where I am without that dude. That's just how it is. Like, and sometimes you just need, and we need to do this as well. Like, you don't want to, like for me, like might not recognize what I have inside of me or the talent that I have. I needed someone else to recognize that for me. And that's what I do for the people, the agents that I get in a relationship, and then my accountability partners and my teammates. Like, it goes so far, man. People don't know until you tell them sometimes. Like one time someone told me, like, hey man, you'd be a great realtor. It's like, what, really? Okay. And it kind of goes on. And my MAPS coach, and then I just have a buddy back east who's one of my 5 people. He owns a very large recruiting company, and he does like software and things like that. He's just sold half his company for like $100 million. He's my age. I met him because I sold him his house. He moved from New York to the Jersey Shore, and the guy's got like 700 employees, and he's awesome. And he always makes time for me, and I've learned a lot of my business lessons from that person. And those are my people.
Also access, right? So if you go to Dan, will he answer your phone call?
Yeah, 100%. And then the point, I try to mirror that to the people that look up to me, or like might see me as a mentor as well. And I always try to make time for those people. But yeah, absolutely, they're all accessible, and they all care about me, and it's awesome.
So again, my dad is my biggest mentor and my mastermind group as well. But you know, a couple years ago when I did my first panel, I didn't know what the heck I was talking about up here, you know. So you know, you get to reflect a lot after a lot of these. And one of the things that I did remember after reflecting was my very first sales job when I was 15. I was selling inline skates and skateboards. Do I look like yeah. I couldn't even get on them, but I was a top salesperson. And I realized that I had gotten a lot of coaching from the owner of the company. And she really taught me a lot about business, sales coaching, but then talked about customer service, explaining in detail, don't judge a book by its cover, because I did judge somebody one time. I was 15, I didn't know. Guy ended up being a millionaire, bought a lot of skates from us. and ended up being one of my best clients. So, everything goes back to somebody giving you a little tip. And so what I did with that aha moment is I called Erica, her name's Erica Simpson. I called her when I had the aha moment. I hadn't seen her since I was 19, and I told her thank you. And that's the powerful, is when she heard that call from me, she's like, wow, I never thought you would actually ever give me a chance and call me back, because she thought I forgot about her. But I had to call her to thank her for the skills and the discipline that she gave to me. So, if somebody's made an impact on your life and you can't remember, go back, dig, and call that person and thank them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So what I just had a great epiphany just sitting here, so thank you for that. And I've got my dad sitting in the third row right there. Raise your hand, Dad. There's one of my biggest inspirations, so thank you, Dad. And what's cool about Dad is that he actually just put a lot of mentors in my life. He put Brother George in my life, and he put other people in my life that actually really created great parenting, is that you're not reining people in, you're actually setting them free. And I think I've learned that a little bit from what you've been able to do, Dad, so thank you very much. And then the other thing that I would say is that as I got connected to Keller Williams, after looking at 11 different companies, I started aligning with what Gary pounds in our head through Gary Keller's mastermind, which is no one succeeds alone, no one succeeds alone, no one succeeds alone. And I realized that my success was not going to be based on me doing it on my own. It was going to be based on me bringing relationships together. So my partners in the 5 Doors Network, Seth Campbell, Reed Moore, and Jeff Payne, who are brothers that we go very deep with because we're in the fight together. Those are the levels of relationships that I level up with, and I can call any of them, one of them. Not only will they bail me out of jail, but they will also help me through any difficult time that I might need help with. And from that, what's happened is that I've aligned with MAPS Coaching, and inside of MAPS Coaching, I'm on the path of transformational coaching, which is the ability for me to really attack the mindset issues. And so my coaches like Ron Patulski and Kate Patulski and John Vandergans and some really amazing people have helped me unlock opportunities through a path of learning neuro-linguistic programming. So from a mentoring perspective, it's about bringing those 5 together, but it's also having alignment from a spiritual perspective on top of all of that, right? Mm-hmm. So having a clear understanding of who God is in your life, because we are a God family business, and putting that to work in your life is incredibly important, because your faith matters in all of this conversation, and it's a really, really important point.
I love that. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, I agree with you. There's multiple levels of mentorship here. They don't have one that they look to or two. Jesse was coached by Gary Keller. It doesn't get better than that in real estate, that is. Right, John? Joe has an entourage of mentorship and direction. Elizabeth has from her dad to associates in her life that helped her get somewhere. Devin has several, which is awesome. But that's just Devin, guys. I know Devin very well. Devin is in Reno's Market Center, right? Reno, please come here, sir. Sure. Give a hand to Reno. I have a question for you. Sure. You've been a team leader for 7 or 8?
9, April 6.
The number 9. Wow! 9 years as a team leader. That's a lot of weight on your shoulders. Okay, Reno, when your OP, Madison, calls you, you dump to attention, right?
Absolutely.
What makes you every single day come to the office and perform like these amazing human beings?
Well, like all of them shared, I'm honored to be in business with them. And Joe's the only one I really don't know, and admire everyone on this stage. I can't wait to get to know more. But it's just, I said in an article that was interviewed, I said, when you commit to something, commit. So you have your big why, but your big why is, you know what it is. I mean, whatever it's family, whoever's in your life, kids, but then you go to work. So I do believe that whatever you go do it really well. And I always say, I can't wait to get to work, and I can't wait to leave. And I always want to be that way. And the day I don't feel that, I'll quit. But just what they do, and I'm honored to be in business with both of them, and met Devin 9 years ago, Chessie 9 years ago. I know Elizabeth through the KW, and I've admired her like crazy. But their tenacity, their work, it's never about perfection, it's about progress. And that's what I learned from Chessie every day, that her integrity, her will, I mean, she's constantly going at it. And market shift and market change, and then we grow. Devin's book of knowledge, I mean, he's like a mini Gary Keller. I mean, he really is. He can recite probably things better than Gary Keller can. And we'll talk and we'll have dialogue, and then that inspires you to go back. I had lunch with Chessie yesterday. I get inspired when she walks away. I'm like, I can't believe I just learned from her again. And that's what makes it all worthwhile. And again, aligning with the right people. Who you're in business with matters. And I'm going to say that one more time. Who you're in business with matters. Integrity first.
Rita, who's your mentor? Who do you look up to? Besides Gary Keller, who's the man. Who are your mentors for yourself in business?
It's of course, Madison's been with me and hired me, and Colleen Rogers. I mean, they've been my partners for 9 years, and but the mentors are really the agents. I know it sounds crazy, but I've learned everything from them, good and bad. And what becomes a great mentor is when you have an open dialogue where you don't have to always agree, but you leave with an impact saying, okay, she made me think. You know what? Devin made me think. Chessie challenged me on this. That's the mentors.
Thank you, Reno. Excellent. Please forgive me, the $1 billion panel, and please forgive me, Avia, I know I was in your way. I ask for forgiveness. I do have a quick announcement. So we have an amazing special guest with us this morning. He came here. He is the CEO of OCAR, Dave Stefanendes. Where are you, Dave? Stefanendes, thank you. Oh, there you go. Dave, please come here, sir. Please forgive me, just quickly. Well, you can draw the CEO of OCAR to your event. I salute you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, and I don't want to steal even a minute of your time because I am really into the things that these people are saying. Neuro-linguistic behavior.
Oh, yeah.
Holy God, and that, of course, God, that's just right there. And Chessie, you have called my wife on many occasions to give us advice on home buying and home purchasing, just out of the blue, and I don't even know you. So, and it's smart to go to my wife because she absolutely makes all the decisions. So the things I'm hearing here, like it matters who you're in business with. Modeling behaviors of successful people. It's the power of I am who I say I am. Sometimes I get a little down on the industry. There are thousands of agents who really don't know what they're doing. And I'm afraid for us. Because we're only as strong as our weakest link. And when these agents leave a bad taste in their client's mouth, it diminishes the brand. I don't ever want the brand to go away because I